Hello Summit. This is a tutorial on how I was able to make this shift dress. So the first thing I did was to fold my fabric in two. I folded this fabric by dividing my hip measurements by 4 and adding 2 inches for seam allowance. That was how I was able to get my fold. So my hip measurement is 44, divided by 2 is 11, plus 2 inches will be 13 inches. So what I have there is 13 inches. I'm going to cut this out. So the first thing I did was to measure my full length before cutting. So full length I'm working with is 43. I'm going to measure exactly 43 because this is actually a lining. So after that, I would mark where I will take my measurements. Marked my bust point, my half length, and my hip line. I used 25 inches for my hip line in this dress. So I'll mark the lines properly. And the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my chest measurement. I came up from my bust point by 2 inches to get my chest measurement. After that, I would mark half of my shoulder measurement plus half inches. My shoulder measurement is 8.5 plus half inches, that is 9. I will mark same measurement on my chest line and draw a straight line. The next thing I did was to get my shoulder slope by coming down by 1 inch from my shoulder line, mark the width of my neckline and then connect to that 1 inch slope. Next thing I did was to measure what I have from that shoulder slope to my chest line, divide by 2, and then mark and come out by half inch. After that, I'm going to mark quarter of my bust measurement on my chest line and I'll connect all points at the same middle. So I'll be using 1.5 inches for seam allowance on my bust point. That is half inch for ease and then 1 inch for shaping allowance. On my waist measurement, I'm going to put quarter of my waist measurement and 2 inches because I don't want my waist line to be tight at all. So I'll be using 2 inches for my waist ease. That's 1 inch for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I will be using the same 2 inches on my hip line. Now mind you, remember we folded this material exactly on our hip divided by 2 plus 2 inches. So I'll just mark that and that's the same measurement.